When we're talking about the fact that we're talking to SDA providers and participant tenancy placement firms, Gallery is not guaranteeing a tenant for your property.
Absolutely not. And we can't, because we're not an SDA provider. We're absolutely not in control of placing participants. What we are in control of doing that demand check up front, doing the due diligence, connecting our clients with tenancy specialists, with SDA providers. But as we have no control and we're not an SDA provider, we can't guarantee that there'll be a tenant placement. There's so many variances that come into play when you're talking about placing an SDA participant. You know, they need to have the right level of funding in place. And for that to happen, that can take months of applications and reporting to the NDIS to get that correct level of funding. And so when our clients are engaging with our network that we're giving them to, so if they're engaging with SDA providers or tenancy specialists, they're going to get that level of service through the right companies. But we can't do that because we're a builder, not an SDA provider.
So how quickly would you be recommending an investor starts talking to your network? Like, we've already talked about the fact that we've done the due diligence before we present you with the package.
Mm-hmm.
If you decide to proceed with that package, we sign contracts. Your contracts are now unconditional. I know that there's a whole process attached to that, but that's sort of not what this chat's about.
Yep.
You've got your finance, you've settled on the land, you're ready to go. When would you be getting an investor to start talking to SDA providers?
As soon as they go unconditional on the build contract, I would encourage them to start having the sit-down conversations with the providers that we're giving them to. So they have the choice, right? They don't have to choose the SDA providers that we are linking them to. They can choose any SDA provider in the market, but we're just giving them our network base that we work with on a daily basis. So they can choose to use them or they don't. And once they've decided on who the SDA provider is going to be, it would be my advice to the client to be engaged by the time the slab is poured. And so throughout construction of their SDA investment, they're actively advertising their property with the SDA provider. They're engaging in expressions of interest from local participants or participants that want to move from one location to another, to start that whole process if they need to apply for funding or go for a different funding package. And so by the time the property is completed and handed over and had its final compliance check and is enrolled into the NDIS scheme, they already have a tenant opportunity.